the most useful gypsy jazz chord voicing ever. I'm Robin Nolan, and in this series of videos, I'm answering your questions on playing gypsy jazz guitar. And I got a question from a lot of guys asking about chord voicings. And actually, I was just at a guitar retreat in New York, and a lot of the guys had never played gypsy jazz before, and they were asking me, what are these voicings and what's a useful voicing to learn? So I thought about this one shape, which has got to be the most useful because it's basically multi-use. You can use it in a lot of different examples, a lot of different contexts. So the voicing is this. So let's just learn this chord. Okay, so it's 4 notes, and the notes are B, D, A, D. And if you play gypsy jazz, you'll know this voicing, but perhaps you don't know all the different things that it can do. So just stay tuned here. So that's the voicing you want to learn, and just that chord shape is kind of like playing a diminished shape on the top 4 strings, but then you start on the A string there. So it's B, D, A. That's the chord voicing. And then what we're going to call it depends on whatever context. So in one context, that could be D minor. Okay, and that's pretty cool because we can navigate to that by the pinky. That's on the D, that's the root. So we play D minor. So if we wanted to play E minor, there's the E, 5th fret on the B string. There's the E minor chord. It's actually E minor 6, but that doesn't matter. It's just a name. That's what it sounds like. And this voicing in that context is really useful in gypsy jazz because it's closed and crunchy, and it sounds completely different. That D minor sounds completely different than that one, for example. So if you're playing especially if you're playing like a fast rhythm in gypsy jazz, if you play this D minor, it would sound like this. Like that, and if you played it here. So you can hear it's a lot more compact, and somehow it kind of suits when you're playing this kind of rhythm. So that's in one context, that chord can be D minor. The next context, it can be B minor 7 flat 5, B half diminished. In that context, it would be like B half diminished, E7, A minor. So you go. B half diminished, E half diminished. So the root is on the bottom there. E half diminished, A7, D minor. So it can also be a half diminished chord, which comes a lot in handy. It can also be a dominant 7th chord, so that could be G7. So you play the same notes, and it can be G7. Yeah, so let's say move it up. Then you got the 3rd in the bass. So there's the B natural. That's the third of G7. A7. There's the 3rd. Same shape there. It's A7. Nice to have that 3rd in the bass there. G7. E7. There's the 3rd. You can also bar it on the top 2 to give it that extra power. So far we've got it as a minor chord. There's D minor. There's the root. We've got it as a minor 7 flat 5. B minor 7 flat 5 with the root there. And we've also got it as a G7. And we got the 3rd in the bass. So that's just 3 examples of where that chord comes in really handy. And if you're playing a piece like beginning of Dark Eyes, for example, you know that piece, you can use the A7 there. The first chord is A7 of Dark Eyes, and then D minor. So you move it down 2 frets, and then you've got, in a different context, you got the minor. So it'd be like dum 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 dum, ba dum bum bum bum, bum 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 bum. So that's kind of a handy example of where you could use the same shape in different contexts. So don't get too confused by it. It's just a really handy chord, and it's a good one to learn, and it'll really help you out in a lot of pieces and a lot of chord changes in gypsy jazz. So thanks for the question. And if you've got a question yourself, you'd like to ask me them, just send me an email at questions@gypsyjazzsecrets.com, and I'll be happy to make a video for you. Thanks for watching, and give me a like, share the video, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel here. And I'll be seeing you again really soon in another video.